What is a tabla player? It's a question that I have to put forth. There are good and bad elements for a tabla player. What does a tabla player want to do? A tabla player wants to make sure that he's noticed, that he's appreciated, and that he has played well enough to be invited again. Okay. Now, how do you accomplish that? Do you want to play so that the audience applauses, and so they remember you and the organizer thinks, oh, they loved him very much, we'll call him? Or do you want to be the driver that you are supposed to be? I mean, आप अगर वैष्णो देवी जा रहे हैं, and if you are an older person or a senior person, आपको पालकी में बिठा के भी ले जाते हैं. So पालकी वाले चल रहे हैं. What does a पालकी वाला do? He makes sure that he avoids all the potholes, as smooth a ride that he can give the rider sitting in the palki, all the way up to the place of worship. That's his job. So if the person sitting in the palki moves a little this way, the front one adjusts the opposite way so that the weight remains balanced, and so on. So the ride is very smooth. That is exactly what a tabla player has to do. He is the palki wala. And he has to make sure that when he's carrying this artist in the palki known as Rag Darbari, and the street that is known as Teen Tal, that he is walking that street of Teen Tal in the way needed so that the palki is stable.
क्या बात है, क्या बात है.
That it becomes very difficult for a tabla player to sometimes be able to accomplish that, because there is this need to be able to be invited again. And whether that invitation has to come from the artist or from the organizer are two different things. Some tabla players feel that it is expected of them to be able to display their wares, and so it must be done. Some tabla players have come to terms with the idea that they have this specific duty to perform. But we have not been able to come to terms with totally how to balance this very treacherous job. And so when a tabla player does accomplish that and provides the accompaniment that is needed, 85% of the time it goes unnoticed. It's a thankless job in a way, because a tabla player must get on stage, gauge the mood on the stage, analyze the temperament of the artist, what the artist is feeling at the time, and accordingly help and provide. And when a tabla player gets a chance to play, and he's playing, does he concentrate on the artist, or does he concentrate on those two people who are just doing wah wah wah, kya baat hai miyan, wah wah, jawab nahi, are wah, kya baat hai, mukarrar? Does he concentrate on those? Does he even listen to the gut, and how after about the third cycle the sitar player or a sarod player has now change the melodic vistar of the gat, just to let the tabla player know that, I mean, come on, I'm not a lehra player. And you must try and round up and finish. I mean, does he pay attention to that? Or does he, it's a very treacherous situation. It's a very, difficult place to be able to balance it. And a tabla player does that. And when he does do that, he goes unnoticed. When he doesn't do that, everybody applauses. But later on, will he be called by the same artist again? Who knows? We don't. So it's really a very kind of a shady situation to be in, and I definitely feel that I, as a tabla player, have tried my level best to be able to be whatever my main artist wants me to be. My main function as a tabla player is to be an accompanist. When I play solo, that's a different thing, but when I'm sitting, I am to be an accompanist. And so my focus is the artist. He is God. And I must provide the proper puja to the God. And I must help the God to be able to spread His word to His worshippers, so that it's all properly done.